Hello, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you with some breaking news. As you all know, that we had a school board meeting today, along with giving the public the right to be heard at a at the school board meeting. Um, as many of you know, we passed around, put in circulation a petition to giving the bus drivers, employees, parents, taxpayers, just concerned citizens, giving you an opportunity to attend the board meeting today to let your voices be heard. Unfortunately, I hate to say that uh, the parents did not show up. Okay, they did not show up. At least they did not speak. Okay, let's just say that they didn't speak. There was only three speakers: myself, um, Mrs. I think Sonia Lucas, and Mrs. Juanita Jackson. Uh, we were the three that spoke, and so due to the fact that we didn't have the bus drivers there because they were still working, they was out running their routes, and so I saw no need for me to remain at the meeting. We're just gonna have to just regroup and try another way. But since they wouldn't allow the bus speakers to speak tonight at the meeting, they kept wanting to bring up personnel issues. You know, if you just so much mention pay, you know, you had the board president uh, was quick to intervene to shut down uh, the speaker. And so, since they didn't allow us the opportunity to speak in the public meeting, then just like the bus drivers, as well as myself, you should never let anyone hush you. When people hush you, you give them power over your voice, over your free speech. You should never let anyone hush you. And so I was fortunate enough to speak to two of the bus drivers, and I'm going to bring them on to the show. They're going to speak to you, informing you about some issues that are going on that others don't want you to hear about. Me, in particular, when I say others, I mean the school board as well as the superintendent. They both are in cahoots together. It's not one or the other. The superintendent and the school board both are in cahoots together. You know, don't want to speak uh, with the bus drivers, and so that's what we're going to talk about in this next uh, uh, hour, if you will. We can do it less, we'll do it less. But I'm going to give them an opportunity to use my platform. That's why I don't like to speak at public meetings too much, is because they have power over my voice. You know, they can pull the plug at any time that they want to. You know, anytime that I speak and it's something that they don't they don't agree with, you know, they're quick to probably want to shut me down. So for those reasons is why I don't go to a lot of board meetings, and I just come to where I'm at right now using my platform to speak. I don't have my background and everything up. We're just going solid tonight because I'm still doing a little construction on it. And so, but anyway, nevertheless, uh, we have our two guests tonight, and we're going to bring them on, and we're going to let them go ahead and explain, not explain, but introduce to you who they are, how long they've been with the Blytheville School Districts, and we're just going to just roll off that. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring on our guests right now. So we have with us, we have Mrs. Lucas. I just call her Mrs. Lucas, and we have Mr. Smith. Both of these guests of mine, they both are bus drivers, and I'm going to allow them to speak to you, to share with you some things that are going on within uh, the transportation department that uh, the school board and the superintendent don't want you to be aware of. Let's just say it like that, okay? We're just going to be straight up. You know, we're not going to try to sugarcoat it. You know, we're here to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Sometimes folks don't want to hear the truth, but hopefully, there are some that will hear the truth. And so uh, I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and we're going to start with we're going to start with Mrs. Lucas and let her tell a little bit about uh, who she is and what is her occupation and what have you, and then we're going to roll over into bringing on Mr. Smith. Okay, so let's start with you, Miss Lucas. The floor is yours. Floor is yours, Miss Lucas. Can you hear me? You're freezing up on me. Can you hear me? I can hear you. You just okay.
Yes,
Go
sir.
ahead.
I can hear you.
The floor is yours. Go ahead. Just tell
My
us a little
name
bit
is
about
Kizzy.
yourself, your job.
Okay, my name is. All right.
Okay.
My name is Kizzy Lucas. A lot of y'all may know me. A lot of y'all may not. But however, my name is Miss Kizzy Lucas, and I've been driving almost 22 years. I started driving the bus in August of 2001, and I'm currently still driving the school bus for Blytheville.
Do you have children in the school system?
Yes, I do. I have 2 children, one in the 3rd grade, and I also have one in the 10th grade, and I have 3 grandchildren, one in kindergarten, one in 4th, and one in.
Okay, you're freezing up on me.
Me. Okay. Let me know if.
Okay, you're freezing up on me. If you can move closer to your Wi-Fi or make some adjustments, uh, I'm gonna go ahead and bring on Mr. Smith and let him introduce a little bit about himself, and we'll come back to you. Okay. Okay. And so we're going to keep. She went out, and she'll be back in. So we're going to bring on. We're going to bring on Mr. Smith now. Look like I lost her again. Okay. Okay. We're going to bring on Mr. Smith now and let him tell a little bit about himself. Mr. Smith, the floor is yours.
Good evening. My name is Eric Smith. I'm a bus driver with the Blytheville School District. I've been driving for 23 years. Love my job, love what I do, but I don't love what's going on in the district right now. So that's why we're at this point here, to get the news out about what's going on in the school district with this new superintendent that we have. Just a lot of big issues going on that shouldn't be taking place. And we as bus drivers, we want our voices to be heard. We've tried to reach out to president of the school board, vice president of the school board to get meetings set up where we can be heard, to be shunned, to be pushed aside. And for us, we as bus drivers, every year we have a meeting when we come before the first day of school. They always tell us in the meeting, you guys are the most important people in the school district. I say this here, treat us like it, because right now we're not being treated like we're the most important people in the school district. And, like I said, I've been doing this 23 years, transporting kids to and from school, taking sporting events, and to fall in this here right now where we've taken on some extra duty that we've done. When the driver's out, we cover for their route. We got about 4 or 5 drivers now that still haven't been paid for that extra duty work they've done. And that's another reason why we're fighting, because we haven't been paid. Some of us got 20 hours that we're missing, 30 hours. It's just various hours that we're not being paid for. And it's ridiculous, that we have to fight for, our pay.
Well, let me ask you this here. Can you first tell us exactly when did this happen? I mean, this new system in terms of how you all are paid. Is this something since the new superintendent came on? If so, explain how you used to be paid, in terms of your overtime, extra duty pay, as you all call it. How were you paid back then as opposed to how you're being paid now?
Well, back then we was paid. We did the work, we was paid. Whatever extra duty we did, we was paid for that. We didn't have to fight for it. Wasn't no questions about it. We was paid. We did the work. We got paid for it.
I mean,
this didn't happen to this.
Yeah. I mean,
We still
explain the paperwork. I mean, what happened? Does it someone sign off? Someone look at? I mean, what goes on? I mean, in terms of say you get 10 hours of overtime pay, how is that process? Who does it go to first?
well, our time sheets are kept with our secretary. Okay.
Okay.
Our director of transportation looks over that time sheet, make sure everything's correct. Secretary gets it. We come in and sign off on our time sheets, and it's then sent up to the administration's office.
Uh-huh.
And that's how we're paid. Beforehand, it's the same thing. The director will look at the time sheets. Secretary was get everything together. We sign off. It goes straight to the payroll clerk, and we're paid. But since the new superintendent have taken over, it goes from our director. She looks over to the secretary, from the secretary to Cliff Miller's hand, and from there, is determined whether we're paid or not. They got to see if everything is on the up and up on the legit. But my question is, if we've worked it, what do you get being legit? Yeah, because it's been said that we've been stealing time and we're falsifying time. How can we falsify something we're there doing the work?
Okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. If there's an allegation that's been made uh, accusing you all of, let's just say, stealing time, what proof have they brought forth to try to continue to hold your checks up? Have they presented any kind of proof?
They haven't presented anything to us. They just speak it out their mouth and they take action. Mm-hmm. We haven't been explained to why we haven't been paid, or we haven't been, like I said, we can't even talk to them. We reached out to school board members. It's just like we don't exist to them. Like we don't, they don't care about what's going on with us. You're going to do what I say and that's it. But, it's just ridiculous again, because I've been doing this for 23 years and never in the 23 years I've been working with the Blytheville School District have I ever had this type of problem to this new superintendent coming here and start just changing stuff, throwing the hatchet with no explanations, no one-on-one talking to me to say, hey, this is what we're going to do. Now, this is what happened. We had a meeting, back in, I want to say, November, October, somewhere in there, that we talked about, fixing a problem, to fix this issue of what's going on. And in that meeting, it was stated to us that once we figure out what's going on, I'm gonna come back to you all. I'm gonna sit down with you all, and we're gonna see what was the resolution that you all come up with to fix this problem that we're having. Mm-hmm. We haven't had a meeting with nobody since.
Well, let me ask you this here. Let me go to Miss Lucas, and then I'm gonna come to you.
Yes, sir.
Miss Lucas, you mind going ahead and chiming in here? As Mr. Smith had indicated, it seemed like the problem started with this, with the new superintendent. And so, is there anything that you can add to that?
Well, he pretty much said,
if you can just move over to the center a little bit where I can see you. There you go.
Can you see me? Let me put it up. Let me get look. I ain't used to going live like this. Okay. Y'all got me?
I think I got enough. Let me go ahead and put you on solo, and then I'll come back to the three-way split. Okay, go ahead now.
All right. So what was your question?
The question was, I asked it, Mr. Smith, in regards to the pay, did you agree that the old system, the way you all was paid compared to now how you being paid now with the new superintendent, is there a problem? I mean, do you agree there is a problem now with how you being paid as opposed to how you once was paid in terms before she got here? I mean, do you agree with that?
No, sir, I do not. I do not agree with it. I don't agree with the lack of communication, because that's the main problem, is the lack of communication. And when we went through every step, all the protocols that we were supposed to go through, we went through every step. And this, and I know, I don't know what it is, but we can't get to her. I guess we got to make an appointment to even get a meeting. And I was told by
Well,
a
have you
teacher,
made an appointment though? Have you made an appointment?
no, because we can't even get a conversation.
Also, in other words, I guess what I'm asking, there have been some effort to try to have a conversation with the superintendent, but it just haven't happened.
Haven't happened.
Any reason why you believe it's not happening?
Because she the HNIC, I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
It's her way or no way.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all I can say, because
Yeah.
when we go to our boss about it, Ms. Jones tell us her hands are tied. She go to Mr. Miller and go to the superintendent, and we asked her because she sent an email for us, and she sent that, and she put us on the email, and I believe we sent you a copy of the email. You can read it. You can
You know,
show it.
I definitely need to matter of fact, that's what I was looking for, that email before you all came on. You all can still see me, correct?
Correct.
Yes, sir.
I want to try to go and find this email, and I also want to show. Let me see.
Every board member was on there. Every board member was on that email, and nobody responded.
Okay, let me pull that. I want to pull that email up right now if I can find it, because that's very important. We really do need to. We really do need to show that email.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's that. Give me 1 minute. I'm looking for the emails, ladies and gentlemen. So we need to find that email. Let me see if this is it. This may be it here. Let me click on it. It's trying to come up right now. I'm thinking that this may be the email. I don't know why this. We must get a lot of things going on with the internet. I can't get. I can't get it. I can't get nothing to come on.
Let me get it on my phone. I can read it for you. If y'all want to continue the conversation, I can get it on my phone.
What I tell you, if let me see. Hold up for a minute. Trap program. Okay. Let me try just one other spot before I turn it over to you. Okay, that's that. I know good and well I had that email. But anyway, if I can't find the email, we basically just gonna have to. I'll just come back later on and we'll show it once I find it.
Yes, sir.
But right now, I want to play a video. I want to play a video of the board president. At one point, he pretty much supported the bus drivers, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And so now there's been somewhat of a turnaround. And so those are some we definitely want to show that email. I mean that video. And so we're going to do that right now. I'm going to come back to try to find that email. Let's go ahead and play this video. And this is where the bus driver, not the bus driver, the board president actually came out in support of the bus drivers back here a few years ago when Superintendent Richard Atwill was serving as superintendent. So let's play that now for the audience, okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right.
Yesterday, we told you about a delay in bus transportation at Blytheville Public Schools. Bus drivers went on a strike in response to finding out they would not be getting a bonus this year. The kids did eventually make it home, and Superintendent Richard Atwill promised a meeting this morning to hear the drivers out. Acting PIO for Blytheville Schools, Allison Turner, told us she believes the district is on a path towards resolution after this meeting, but the drivers say they're still waiting for their fair share.
That's basically what we're trying to say and get out here, that if you're going to do for one, you have to do for all.
We part of the operation, so why we don't get it?
I've been driving for 6 years, and I done grown to love the kids, you know, and that's why I'm still here.
Turner hopes everyone understands that the board, not Mr. Atwill, makes the final decision. Turner says they will discuss the issue further at the next board meeting.
Can't hear you.
We can't hear you, Mr. Hollis.
Can't hear you.
How about now?
There we
Yes,
go.
Had my mic off. So what do you all think about that? We have the present board president, who was just a regular school board member back a few years ago. He actually stood with the bus drivers when Superintendent Richard Atwell was serving as superintendent. He actually went before the cameras, and somewhat support for the bus drivers. Fast forward today, there's a big turnaround. So can you give your best guess as to why is it that he have a change of mind now? Any one of you?
Oh, well, I don't know what's going on with him. He did a whole 360-degree turnaround.
I agree.
yes,
I agree.
yes, he
And
did.
again, the board again, as they stated in that news clip, that the board runs, the superintendent, not the superintendent running the board. But all that stuff has been flip-flopped this year. Look, the superintendent running everything in the school district. She running teachers away, running maintenance people away. It's just throughout the whole school district, not just us bus drivers, but it's the whole school district that's having a problem with this superintendent. And she's acting like she's the one being bullied, but in turn, she's really bullying us. And like Ms. Lucas stated earlier about that, we go, do the chain of command, as they say. We want the chain of command to try to get heard. Have a meeting with the board and the superintendent. On top of that, our director gets reprimanded. She gets rebuked because she's standing. They tell her chain of command, but now it's a problem with that. So we just up the creek without a paddle. If you say.
And then besides the email that we was on, Desmond instructed our director to go through the proper channel and send the email. So she got another email before ours. And he instructed that she send an email to Dr. Perkins and Mr. Miller. And that's what she did. Still nothing. So after a while, we asked again, could she do it for us? And she did it for us. And she CC'd us on there. And you need to find it so we can read it. So Blytheville community will know just what kind of superintendent we got.
And that's what that's as you're speaking right now. I'm yet trying to find that email because I don't want anyone to to claim that we're making some false statements in terms of the email. And so that's why I'm trying right now. But before I leave, before we conclude this broadcast tonight, I'm going to find that email and I'm going to show that email because I think it's necessary that we show it.
It's very necessary because and the reason why it's necessary is because we went through the proper channels. But then in the email, she stated that we went to the media first, and that is a capital L, capital I, capital E, a lie. We did not go to the media first.
That's right.
We went through the proper channels first.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's a lie, and I wasn't gonna let nobody just say that, knowing that we did follow the proper protocol.
100.
So in other words, did everything according to going by the book in terms of going through the change of command.
We did all that. Yeah. Yes, we did.
Went to your immediate supervisor.
Yes.
Even there's, as way I understand it, there's either was emails or some form of communication to where the school board and the superintendent knew that you had concerns that you all wanted to meet with them about.
Yes, sir.
And they continue to give you all the deaf ears, they say. And so we're at the point now where we'll force them to hold a meeting that they did not want to hold. And speaking of the meeting, we were supposed to meet after their school board meeting, okay? That way it would have gave you all time to get to the meeting today. But what they did, they throw the monkey in the game, and what they did, they switched the roles. In other words, they wanted us to go first and only wanted to give us 30 minutes, which is another thing that we need to talk about. But I think it was by design, by intent. They didn't want you all at that meeting tonight. And why do you agree with them pulling this? I mean, this is sort of like an underhand on purpose intent all from speaking tonight. I'm thinking it was intent.
Me too.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
It was intent.
And so
Go ahead.
what is the plan going forward now?
Well,
Pardon me?
we still in the same spot, and all of this could have been resolved if we not against whatever rules or whatever policy or whatever was going to be changed, but nobody was even willing to talk with us, communicate with us at all. Didn't invite us to the admin building, wasn't willing to come back to the bus shop. Even we could have done it like this. Nobody just wanted to talk to the bus drivers at all.
None whatsoever.
And why do you think that's so?
Oh, well, because I guess we don't mean nothing to them. I guess because we as the bus drivers, like I said, we love our children, we love the job we do, and we don't want to leave our kids out in the cold, wondering they're gonna be picked up, because we look at the thought of the parents. Some parents go to work in the mornings, they leave their kids at that bus stop knowing that bus gonna come pick them up. No worries. But we as drivers, we do this out of the kindness of our heart because we love what we do. But in turn, the school board and the superintendent is treating us like, hey, y'all ain't nothing to us. You're gonna do what we say do, and that's it. And all we want to do is have a meeting to discuss what's going on, what's the problem, how can we fix this thing. And like you said, on this meeting tonight, we had a petition that went out that I had people sign. We had 196 signatures. And to have a meeting, and this meeting by petition should have been a meeting where it was just the board members, the superintendent, and us on our own meeting, not a meeting with the official board meeting that they have every month. That's something that should have been aside from that. But no, what did they do? Like you said, they throw the monkey wrench in it and caused everything to happen tonight. And on top of that, they knew most of us drivers was out on our route at 5:30 that we won't be able to make that meeting. So that's why the meeting was pushed to 5:30 instead of after the original board meeting. So yeah, they know what they're doing. They think they're smart, but in the end, we gonna win.
And so let me just get both of your input. I understand that there probably would be some type of form of, let me try to get Miss Lucas back in there. I understand that there would be some type of form of if the board and the superintendent continue to delay you all being paid what's rightfully due to you. Do I understand that there possibly may be where you all may bring some civil litigation to get the school board to pay you what's owed?
Yes, sir. Actually, we already done picked up our small claims application.
Yes, sir.
And we've been having it, and we already got the total fees of how much it costs. We willing to pay $50 for each that we gotta pay each for it to be served, and it costs $67, I believe, to file it.
Exactly.
And we've been holding on to that, giving them the opportunity to see if they're gonna reach out to us. Still haven't reached out to us. So they have had plenty of opportunity to reach out to us and still haven't.
Well, I will say this here. I think that you all have been very patient, if just to say the least, of trying to get your money. and I will say this here. I don't think you will need an attorney to get your money. But I just want to say that if you do find your way of going to the circuit court, if for any reason, things don't work out in the district court, small claims court, I would very much suggest that you all speak with an attorney. Blytheville had this situation years ago with the fire department, to where they was faced with somewhat in the same situation what you all are in. And trust me, they got their money. If I'm not mistaken, that lawsuit was settled, I think, somewhere like a little over $200 thousand. I think they backdated it, so many years, and the dollar figure what Blytheville ended up selling for was like something like, I think it was a little over $200 thousand. And so there is already case precedent out there, cases that have been heard that are in your favor. Got one right here in Blytheville, Arkansas, to where the Blytheville Fire Department sued the city of Blytheville. And so I would say that if you find your way to the circuit court, if you win in district court, which is small claims, Miss Shannon Langston, she's a judge. If you win there, fine. But if not, if you find your way over going into the circuit court, I would recommend that you really do speak with an attorney. But
yes, sir.
And
And
so
again, like I say, there's a lack of communication. I mean, for you to be professional, you're supposed to be able to entwine with your employees, get to know them, but this is not happening. We come in, I'm the chief, y'all the engines, you're gonna do what the chief say. That's the way it's been ran. And for the funding, we don't know, like you say, we always say they're hearing a budget, but we don't know what's the budget for the bus drivers, because ain't nobody said nothing. But again, 23 years I've been doing this, we never heard nothing about no budget or worrying about not being paid for the job that we've done. I've left my home and left my work at home for a whole week and got paid and ain't got to worry about nothing. But now,
well, let's talk about that, the budget, because that really concerns me. Just about in every different types of government, whether it's the school or whether it's the city council, quorum court, there always is a budget per department. Okay, so from what I'm hearing from you is that you work with the transportation department, right?
Yes, sir.
And so from what I'm hearing from you is that your transportation, say, supervisor or director, I don't know what you all refer to, I'm just saying supervisor, she don't really know how, or he don't really know how to plan, because they don't have a budget. They don't know how to spend, etc., because they don't have a budget. And so if the supervisor of the transportation department, if the supervisor need a particular, say, piece of equipment or purchase or what have you, how is that handled? I mean, who does it go through? I mean, who signs up on that? And first of all, how do the supervisor know that there's money in the budget for that if she don't have a budget?
Well,
I don't know the budget.
Yeah, we don't know the budget because it hasn't been told. But we know funds are there, because again, 23 years we have never had to worry about a budget. It's the thing.
Never.
You know what I'm saying? So until now, but we come in talking about a budget. We don't know what to spend. And like I tell them, whenever you got a driver out, or we are down a driver, we need 2-3 drivers. Those drivers got to be paid $14,500 or $16,000. That's all we make a year as being a bus driver. Our money come in when we do this extra activity work, like ball games and stuff like that, or extra duty. That's where our money come in at. And for them to have a problem with us doing extra duty to make a little money, when you got the coaches that's making $85,000, $75,000 a year plus extra incentives, but they can bring them out there to drive the buses, what we're hired to do, and still get paid what we're supposed to get paid. We don't understand that. But you got buses down that need a driver for it. So that's $14,500 right there that's allocated to pay somebody else to take on that route, to help with that route. But because we do it, we're still in time.
So in other words, they don't want to pay you all the money for extra duty hours, but they'll go and get a coach, for example, that's probably making $70,000-$80,000. Really don't need the money.
Uh-huh.
They'll go and get a coach, pay him the money that they should be paying you all.
Yes, sir.
Right.
And you all don't make nearly the amount of money
No,
that
sir.
the coaches make. So it
sir.
you know, as they say, make it make sense. I
Make
mean,
it
the
make
numbers,
sense.
I mean, it's just
And then
it's not
by
adding up.
and then by letting the coaches come and do it, and we don't have anything against the coaches at all.
Nothing. Nothing.
You know, it's making the parents upset because when the routes, the kids going different ways, you don't know which way the kids live. They going out behind the bus, around the bus. These kids, you taking a chance of these kids getting hit because you used to driving on a trip. You're not used to going in the neighborhoods on the route, knowing where these kids, who cross to the right, who go to the left. But nobody cared. All they cared about is sending an email out to everybody in the district, wanted to know who got the qualifications to
Miss
drive a
Lucas,
bus.
I want to stop you right there because see, this is something that tonight is what I try to convey to the one lady that who spoke, Miss Sandra Lucas, is that what people need to understand, the school board president is somewhat being misleading. Just like when a lady was speaking tonight about wanting to be treated fairly as a bus driver, what he failed to realize is what you said earlier. It's not about putting a person behind a wheel that know how to drive a bus, but does that person know all the other things that go into that? You know, in terms of, like you said, there could be some kid maybe going the wrong way, or there could be gotta watch the traffic, a car coming from your left side, you're not seeing. And so there is also that when they get off the bus and maybe have to cross the street or what have you, or something like that, you know, that bus driver, an experienced bus driver, you know, at that same time, he's doing other things to make sure that that child crossed the street safe.
Yes, sir.
You know, and a regular, and someone is just want to make a little extra money, you know, it's just like what I call a little hustle, pickup hustle, like the coaches might want to drive. I mean, they might not have the same type of what do you say, in terms of how you do your job. They may take shortcuts. Whereas with you all go from A to Z.
They go a different
me?
way, and the kids on there saying, "You going the wrong way. You ain't going." Some kids don't even know where they live if you go a different way.
Exactly.
And so
Because
it's a safety. So again, what I'm saying is that it's not just personnel, it's a safety concern.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And that's what the president did not allow the bus driver to speak tonight. It wasn't just about being treated fair, but at the same time, they trying to just block out. There's no safety issue in regards to the bus drivers being able to do their job. I mean,
That's
that
true.
right there, I think something like that, when parents hear something like that, I think that if they had a choice to have a coach to drive a bus as opposed to like you guys, I mean, that's what you do day in and day out. I think I would feel a little bit comfortable with you guys transporting my kids to school and from school than to have someone to sort of just fit in, you know, just to make a little hustle, a little money or what have you. And so I'm glad you pointed that out about the safety. And that's what we try to convey tonight when the speakers were speaking, is that this is not just about personnel. This is about safety in terms of the kids once they off the bus, whether they have to cross, making sure kids don't go behind the bus, you know, because there have been cases, as you indicated, that does happen, correct?
Correct. And
yes, sir.
Some parents don't be at home, and we know their vehicles. We know who to look for. These kindergartners, first graders, second graders, we'll call on the radio, and they even hear Miss Jones or some of the drivers say, "Well, their mom not out here. The car is not out here." We don't have to do that. But as professional bus drivers, we care about the kids. We don't just drop them off and leave them when we know they are a small student or a small child and their mother or their parent not there.
Yeah.
And
we're gonna take a pause for a minute because I see that we got some comments coming in. And so we're gonna go ahead and deviate to try to see if we can go ahead and post some of these comments. Before we continue to try to close out with this meeting. Okay, we like 40 minutes in. We really don't want to try to do no more than an hour. And so let's go ahead and take a break and go over to the board. And so we're going to try to get these comments as they came in. And so let's start with we got Miss Sheila Rump. She is saying that they blocking out a lot. Whenever you is more concerned about 13 points to pass state tests than to find out why a child is acting out behavior wise, we have a serious problem. So she's speaking in regards to some things that is going on. She mentioned 13 points to pass state exam. She have to really elaborate, and that's what I want to say to the guest who's making comments. Try to elaborate a little bit on your point that you're making, because the people that's looking, they probably not have any idea what you're talking about. 13 point to pass state test. So Miss Rump, could you come back and elaborate on that a little bit more? Okay. We got Miss Patricia Davis. Safety should be number one. I totally agree. Yes, I had to have a meeting with the principal yesterday. He claimed that he was the principal of the middle school, that is, Mr. I think Everett. I had a situation with my granddaughter. But it was almost like his hands were so tied, bouncing around doing this, that, and the other. And I had to interject. And I had to say to Mr. Everett, I think that's his name, regardless of what's going on, when it comes to the safety of a child, you hit the pause button and you stop everything you're doing, and you start becoming concerned about that particular student. There is nothing more important in the school day setting other than education is a child's safety.
That's true.
And so I totally agree with Mrs. Davis that safety indeed is number one. We have Miss Jones. I think she's just tuning in. We have Miss Anderson, Jacqueline. She said HNIC. I think we all can comprehend to those initials, and we all there are some of us out there like that really hold that title, and I've told guys that on jobs that I work with or other folks, when it comes to that title right there, they're gonna win that hands down, because I'll never be a candidate or a competitor to compete for that title, HNIC.
Right.
I would never be a candidate. I'm gonna lose every time when it comes to that title. All right. And so I think it's just a shame how some of us, we get glory. I don't want to, carry on such titles that, but yeah, you are correct. How you doing there, Mr. Mayberry? I almost call him Councilman Mayberry, yeah, but many of you know that he resigned. Pay the people, indeed, pay the people. We have Miss Spell, no sound, Tony. Yeah, I think they was telling me that, so we got that fixed. Hopefully you can hear me now. Spell. We got Miss Williams also saying pay the people. Mrs. Bell again. It's political, if you ask me. Indeed, it's not just political. A lot of it's just downright. It's
evil.
It's just evil, dogmatic.
Yes, sir.
Especially when you got people that done did the job. They done went out getting up 6 o'clock a.m. Sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's cold, and have to put up with a lot of things that's going on
raining
around that job. And come on now. And for you to treat bus drivers like that, who have the most important job of the day, kids' safety are in you all hands.
Right.
and they want to
And think
treat you
about it.
all, like treat you like your peanuts.
Mhm.
Do
The
they have
first one,
a union? No union. I'm gonna run through these here, Miss Lucas. I'm gonna come back to you.
go ahead. Yeah.
So much hell. Okay, we got Pastor Hayes. He said about this situation of being up a creek without a paddle. The creek being the school system. Is something, if something don't get straightened out soon, the creek is going to become the rapid, and the rapid are leading to a waterfall. In other
Hey,
words,
Sir,
so
uh,
yes,
I think you all can comprehend that. It's almost like it's kind of like in the metaphor that I like to use. It's almost like I'm pretty sure you all can comprehend. The house is on fire. You
it's
see the
almost
house
like
on fire. I see the house on fire, but we're just looking at it. We just
mm,
letting the house burn. We're
mhm.
not, we don't have the mindset to want to get some water hose, or do something to help put the fire out. And that's what is going on in all of our school campuses, as it relates to test scores, as it relates to fights, etc. Our schools are on fire, you know.
and
And
Mr.
so
Hollis.
go ahead.
When I thought about everything, I thought about, I know our district not being set up to be sabotaged, is it? Because when you start listening to teachers, everybody complaining, maintenance,
Hold on.
everywhere you go, every time you conversate with somebody, it's
Uh-huh.
complaining. It's they complaining. And all the bus drivers was asking for is to talk to us, come
Uh-huh.
communicate with us. You don't know how much financial hardship you caused us after Christmas. We had to wait 30 days to get paid, and my check was $112 because those insurances that we pay for, if I don't do any extra, I'm really just giving you all my time.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So,
it.
because when you get through paying our insurances, we don't have any money.
Got nothing.
My check was $112. I'm
Mm-hmm.
insured with a BB company.
Mm-hmm.
Ask him. Ask him
And
when
so,
I up there trying to requote it.
mhm. So in other words, knowing that, and this is not your only income.
No,
Because this is just income to subsidize the other income that you may have
that's
coming in,
true.
and so you
And
can't,
thank God I do.
and you can't afford to miss no money.
No
Not if it's
money.
$1. You need your money.
Yes.
Work
Just like
for it. We
they do
need it.
there.
Mhm. And so, before we go on, you all was mentioning something today about a meeting that they had regarding something about $11, $20 knockdown when you're sitting waiting. Can one of you explain that? Exactly what was that meeting about? The paying you all, reducing you to $11.
Well, this meeting was about we as bus drivers, like I said, when we take an activity trip, whether it be at
Uh-huh.
the basketball game or wherever we take, we're paid
Mm-hmm.
$20 an hour. So their meeting today was for our drive time would be $20 an hour, but when we get to the location that we're supposed to be, our set time will be $11.
Uh-huh.
So that's what they're changing from $20 to $11 set time, and then it starts back $20 an hour once we start driving. But
So
again,
in
I've been
other
here
words,
23 years and never had this type of problem.
if I understand you correctly, no matter if you're sitting or if the bus is rolling, it was $20
Across
with
the
no
board, yes,
interruption,
sir.
right? But
No
now, for
interruption.
example, if you had to drive to say West Memphis,
Yes, sir.
and however long it takes for that game to be played, let's just say it's 3 hours. You
Mm-hmm.
sitting in the bus waiting. Back yesterday, I'm using that to a better way of explaining it. You always paid $20 an hour, whether you're rolling or whether you're sitting. Now,
Yes, sir.
Right.
fast forward today, since we got this new superintendent,
Right.
for some reason or another, I guess she thinking that y'all make too much money. We got to cut y'all down. So now she's saying that when the bus is not rolling, she want to reduce your salary to $11.
Yes,
Yes.
sir. That was the meeting was about. Yes, sir.
As you say, that is evil and dogmatic. How did that meeting turn out?
I don't know just yet, but we're waiting on,
Well,
I guess, results
so
tomorrow.
I know how it turned out because the
Can you please
informant already.
elaborate?
I was told that at first she asked the policy committee.
Uh-huh.
Thank
Okay,
you
let me see.
breaking up.
Okay. Miss Lucas, look like I'm losing your voice there, your audio. Can you hear me? Look like she's freezing up on me there.
Yes, sir.
Let me see. Miss Lucas, can you I think she done froze up on me. Yeah. We'll let her come back in. I think she went out and came back in. Do you know
Okay.
anything about Mr. Smith? Do you know anything about that what Miss Lucas was just explaining about this so-called meeting they had today?
Now, all I know was about the meeting. Like I said, I don't know if it was what it passed or how it passed or what was the results. You know, I know for sure, I guess tomorrow. But yeah, it's just ridiculous though from what we have to go through right now. Like I say, I've been doing this 23 years and we never had to decrease in pay. Anything, they should be increasing our pay for what we do. You know, we, like I said, we get up at 5:30 in the morning. We have to be at our buses at 6 o'clock. Rain, cold. We got to inspect our buses. You know, we got to make sure the tires are inflated. We got to check oil, transmission fluid, coolant. We got to do all this. And once we get through doing this, we got to go pick up our students we love, drop them off, get back, inspect the bus, make sure ain't none left behind because no child left behind with us, you know, and go on with our daily tasks and come back in the evening, same old thing every day. But we're not appreciated for doing this here, and that's our problem, you know. They're not appreciating us for what we're doing. Like I said, when you said about the money, making money, $14,500 ain't enough money for nobody. We work 178 days a year for $14,500. And only time we get money is to take an activity trip or take a school group over to Memphis Zoo or something. That's where our money come in at. And at the end of the year, maybe some of us, and the key thing is we don't have but maybe 3 or 4 drivers that really take activity trips. Everybody else is still at that 14,500. So you got maybe 3, 4 drivers that's probably at the end of the year maybe make 28,000 or maybe make 30,000 at the most. You see what I'm saying? So that really still ain't no money, you know, for what we do. And you crying about us making a little money when again the coach is making 80,000, 75,000, plus they got these extra 3,000 incentive for this, 1,200 for this, and another 1,000 for this. So actually they're making 90-some $1,000 with all the other incentive they got. But it's a problem with the bus drivers making a few dollars. Make that make sense to me. That's what we don't understand. You know, again, it's all about the safety of our students because we're professionals. We do this. We, like Ms. Lucas was stating earlier, we know where that kid gonna go to the right when he get off the bus, or that kid got to go around in front of the bus and go across the street to the left. We know what to do to a car that we see coming. Hold up, we, you know, put that sign up. Hey, hold up, we got kids crossing the road. Or we see a kid crossing the road and a car about to run the stop sign. We hit that horn and tell our kid, hold up, don't go across that road. There's a car coming. But see, all this stuff they not taking into consideration that we care about our kids, about our students. Because if my kids are all grown out of school. But if I had a kid in school and that bus driver was driving, I'm entrusting that bus driver to do best he can to protect my child. And that's what we do as bus drivers, but we're not appreciated for the job we do here. That's why we're sitting here today fighting over something that could have been resolved the very first day it happened.
Are there very many fights on the school bus?
I won't say it's very many on the school bus.
But I know fighting. I know they fighting like cats and dogs in the school.
Yes, sir. In the school, but on the bus, it's not that many on the bus. You know, me myself personally, the whole 23 years that I've been driving for Blytheville School District, I maybe had one fight, and I really wouldn't call it a fight. 23 years, I only had one little incident on my bus for as a kid talking about fighting. That was it. So the buses, you may have a little spat here, a little there, a little every now and then, but it's not as bad as it is in the school district inside the building.
So back to the superintendent. I think you told me a little bit about your encounters or what you see in this superintendent. From what I gathered and listening, not just to you, but to others, this superintendent seemed like she a little headstrong, don't like for her authority to be challenged. In the one email that we need to talk about, well, we can just talk about it because I got the email. It ain't like it's not true. So if we had to present the email, if they force us to show the email, I can show that email. I just can't find it now. But you always mentioned about you've been trying to get some type of conversation going with the superintendent, and for some reason or another, she keeps shutting you down. Right?
Yes, sir.
So this is what I want to know is that you had I think Miss Lucas mentioned it. Do you think that she really is here for the right reasons in terms of, because we get right now, the reason I asked that is because we don't need the superintendent being concerned with buses, whether you want to get a gas bus or whether you want to get an electric bus.
Exactly.
The transportation department can take care of that.
Yes, sir.
We don't need the superintendent being concerned with SRO, for example. I just found out that they don't cut their travels. That normally there's an SRO officer that travel with the ball teams, when they go out of town. She cut that. The reason she cut that is because she calling it unnecessary expense.
Wow.
And so what we need the superintendent, we don't need a thumbs up when the superintendent is out driving buses. We don't need a thumbs up.
No, sir.
What we need from the superintendent, and I hope you agree with me, we need the superintendent to focus on how do you recruit certified teachers and at the same time try to maintain the certified teachers that we already have. See,
yes, sir.
If I'm not mistaken, she making something like $140,000, and that don't include the little perks. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I would hope that she would be focusing on trying to turn this school district around when it comes to, like I say, trying to maintain certified teachers, trying to recruit certified teachers, and let's turn these failing schools around. We don't have one school in Blytheville School District that's passing. When I say passing, I'm talking about a D. Actually, we want them to be above a D, but every one of Blytheville School District. Some folks might say, well, we was failing before the new superintendent got here. Okay. So was Osceola failing. But Osceola right now, they making some progress. Of their 4 schools that they got, only one of them got an F, and 3 of them have a D. All of our schools have an F, and the superintendent have been here at least 1 year, correct?
Yes.
And so I would think that out of 4 schools up under the leadership of this superintendent,
yes, sir,
we ought to have at least 1 school with a D.
Yes, sir.
Of course, we want that to be higher. And so if the superintendent can trust your people, in other words, I think I spoke about that tonight. Trust the transportation director to do his or her job.
Exactly.
Trust the maintenance department to do their job.
Exactly.
Trust the financial person. We talked about time. She worried about y'all stealing time. Trust the people that are in place that have been given the duty and the responsibility of processing you all time and checks or what have you. But it seemed like, she either got to have someone to go behind a person to do a job, and then sometimes that ain't good enough. Then she got to look at it.
Yes.
And so long as she keep putting her hands in other places and doing other things,
she can't handle what she's supposed to.
She's not doing the job that she have been given the due charge of carrying out.
Yes, sir.
Because she everywhere. She all over the map, and she can't do her job in terms of maintaining certified teachers and trying to recruit certified teachers, and treat your other employees, treat them right. Treat them right.
Right, and with some respect. Yes, sir.
You know?
Treat
And
us like we
so,
human beings.
and I did reach out to some people down on the northwest end of the state, down to Little Rock, Jacksonville. They know of her, and they did state to me that she can be a little demanding. That's the word they use. She can be a little demanding.
Okay.
And this is what is being told to me from other school districts that she was once serving. You know, but let me pause for a minute. We have look like we got Miss Lucas back in here. Let's bring her back on. So you're back with us, huh, Miss Lucas? She done went out again. But let's do this here. Miss Kim, is this Miss Kim Miss Kim Burden follows? Okay. She said she knew that some bus drivers drove for Tenarius and wouldn't be there. I think that's one of the routes that you was running, correct?
Yes, sir.
And she knew that you all couldn't be there.
Yes, sir.
She knew that if you all was given the opportunity to come attend the meeting, in other words, they were supposed to go before us.
Yes, sir.
School board, their monthly meeting was supposed to start before we did. And
Exactly.
then we were supposed to come behind them. Their
Yes,
meeting
sir.
started at 6. Once they convened their meeting, their meeting ended, then we were supposed to come behind them.
Yes, sir.
But she threw some stank in the game, as they say. She made the meeting to be about 5:30, knowing you all couldn't be there.
Yes, sir.
Now, I don't blame the bus drivers, but I am a little irritated that we didn't see any of the parents that was willing to stand up to show their frustration or their concerns, that is, of how our district is being ran, the out of control fights that we're having, the bullying that's going on in the school. And also I mentioned last night on my show that kids are so comfortable now where they're going into the schools and they having sex. They got these things called, I don't know if you heard of it, they got these things called 30-second knockout. In other words, I don't know if they're going in there a group of individuals, LeBoas as a whole, or they going in there one-on-one and they're having a fight. And I think the ideal is you got 30 seconds to knock somebody out. This is the crap that's going on in the schools.
Yes,
and
sir.
So the question becomes, and we know the security officers can't be every place at every time, every minute of the day, excuse me.
Yes.
But it's almost like nobody is on duty.
That's what it seems like.
That should be one place in the morning that we ought to have somebody, checking in and out of the bathrooms, the gym, the auditorium, any remote area in the school till we think kids may go and hide out to do stuff that they don't need to be doing or are not supposed to be doing.
Yes, sir.
So who's attending the house early in the morning?
Nobody.
And this is information that's coming from people that work inside the schools. And so they wonder, how Tony know they having kids having sex in school. I have that information. And I think that the principal know it. I think that I know the teachers know it because the teacher was the one that walked in on these two students that was having sex in the girls' bathroom.
Yes, sir.
Look like we got Miss Lucas back on. Miss Lucas, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I hear you.
Before you went out, I think you was explaining something about the meeting that they had, the personnel committee.
Yes, sir. The PPC, which is the Personnel Policy Committee, they were to vote whether we was gonna go to $11 for sitting. They voted 0-7. The board overturned it. They overturned it. So now, well, if y'all was gonna overturn it, why y'all even ask the PP committee at first? If the board could do it, why ask?
So let me understand this here. Let me pause for a minute. The personnel committee was for the bus drivers.
Yes.
Then, as it made its way to the school board,
yes,
all 8 school board members, as it made is it made its way to the school board members. They voted 7-0 not to confirm the recommendation of the personnel committee.
Yes, so they just overrode what why did they even ask them?
So the school board, well, I think what it is pretty much like, just like the city council. They all have committees, okay? No matter what they do in committees, in order for it to become, let's just say a city ordinance or whatever, or they want to spend some money, or what have you. In this particular case, we're talking about money. They have those discussions in committee, but once it come out of committee, then it goes to the entire school board, and that's where they either vote to uphold the decision that the committee has made, or they can vote against it. So in this particular case, that's exactly what happened. They did not vote with the committee; they voted against the committee.
They already knew what they was gonna do anyway.
Yeah.
They already knew what they was gonna do.
So in other words, the school board don't really care 2 cents about the bus drivers.
Point blank, period.
And that's probably why they support the superintendent as to deal with the bus drivers how you see fit. I mean, that's what I'm hearing coming from the school board. Whereas the superintendent has been given a charge to run the school district, and so she pretty much speaks. She's not doing anything to you all that the school board is not aware of. Which brings me to this point: we have 2 school board seats up right now. I don't know who sits in those seats. I think it's zone 4 and 5. Do anybody know who occupy those seats, zone 4 and 5?
I have no idea.
If anybody is over here, I don't want to call no names and start guessing. So I just like to say to the audience, if any of you all know who occupy zone 4 and zone 5 for the Blytheville School District, we need to know, because we need to change some seats on that school board. As I mentioned last night, all of them need to go. You ask me, all of them need to go.
Sir. All of them.
Anytime that you don't want to be concerned, treat your people right, who completely bring 100% plus every day, as you all, like the bus drivers, and they want to flip you off like that. They all need to go.
Zone 5 is Mr. Desmond Hammond, and zone 4 is Miss Michelle Sims.
Okay, let me say that again. Say it again.
Zone 5 is the president, Mr. Desmond Hammond, and zone 4 is Miss Michelle Sims. What is the vicinity? What you mean when you say they zone? Like, what zone does Mr. Desmond cover?
What did you just say zone 4?
4 is Miss Sims, and 5 is Mr. Desmond.
Okay, well, zone 5 will be, they have a map at the Mississippi County I want to say the election clerk, probably the department that you'll walk into. If you'll go to the Mississippi County courthouse, they will direct you as to what floor you need to go on or what door you need to go in. I'm almost certain it's going to be the door or office who deals with elections, and you just go in there. You just ask for the entire map. That way they give you the map for zone 1 through zone 8. We got 8 zones, okay? And or you can just get the zone map for zone 4 and zone 5, since these are the 2 elections that we got coming up now. And
what about Miss Carolyn Lewis? Well, I thought y'all appointed her out. What happened with that? How she come back if she was appointed out?
Well, that right there, if you ask me, the reason I hadn't got into that about Miss Carolyn Lewis in terms of what they're doing with that, they had Mr. Melvin, what's his last name? They appointed him for that seat. And to my understanding, I'm hearing that someone, whether it was the superintendent or the board president or somebody else on the school board, that they had concerns about something concerning him. And so somebody asked for him to be somewhat investigated. And so based upon what that investigation, what came out of it, that's when they sort of redid, for us appointing him to that seat. I think it was whatever seat that Miss Lewis hold, and so they sort of pulled back from him and they put her in. Now there's some concerns and questions as to how that happened. I really hadn't really investigated that yet. That's something that I probably will do. There's also been some concern with, I think you had mentioned the president, Mr. Hammond, that he's up for re-election, right?
That's what it says.
Yeah. Well,
but
there's
he live in
also
Gosnell too, though. He
there's
got
also
his own.
well, see, there's also some concerns with him living out of his zone, and so
Yeah.
these are some things that we can do, you all. Zone 4 and Zone 5. Right now, you don't have a lot of time. So I think the deadline is March the 1st. For, you know how you go out and get your little signatures to qualify for the ballot. And so if anyone want to run for Zone 4 and Zone 5, they need to be making that move right now. You know, because I'm telling you all, if we want to bring change to our Blytheville School District, we're going to have to change some of the seats, y'all. And we got to start now. And so
and
go ahead.
I just wanted to make this clear. I see a lot of the eye service when I'm out, which bothers me none. But for y'all to be, this is not personal. This business, and if it was your money, your funds, you would do the same thing. So I'm not the one just to go along to get along. So if you feel like you feel about me because I'm standing up for our livelihood,
that's
then,
it.
That's your problem, not mine.
That's
well,
it.
you know,
Because
yes,
again,
ma'am.
it's not personal.
That's
Well,
it.
you know what it is, Miss
Lucas.
Lucas. You know what it is, Miss Lucas. It's these little old cliques that run together. You know, as they say, fellows flock together, or however that little
Birds of the feather.
yeah, birds of a feather flock together. You know, I mean, that's what's going on here. Okay, and it's sad because if they was treated like you all are being treated, they would want someone to come to their defense or to support them. And so, but I always use the term, I call them a bootlicker. You know, I mean, these we need to call these folks what they are. You know, they just glad to be on the sofa. You know, bootlickers. They're not serving no purpose whatsoever. They just glad to be in the circle. You know, bootlickers is what I call them. You know, got no dignity whatsoever. There's nothing about them that hell even they can be proud of. You know, they just glad to be on the couch, as they say. Just glad to have a seat on the couch. Bootlickers. That's what I call them. You know,
and this so, they don't want to do but that.
But we got a whole lot of problems going on. We got to, as we mentioned, safety. The some of the cameras don't work. I found out at the middle school when I was there, and those kids there at the middle school, y'all, they are outrageous. I'm telling you, boy, I tell you, them some little demons that's walking around in there. I mean, boy, they're like they want to jump on the resource officer. I saw this with my own eyes, y'all. Them kids is tough. You hear me? That's some tough kids.
Yes,
you know,
and you gotta be firm. They not scared. They not even scared of police.
No,
when they come, they not.
We're talking about middle school. Them some tough kids, y'all.
That's true.
You hear me? As a matter of fact, I think Mr. Everett found himself on the ground tussling with some girls the other day. Or was it the day or yesterday? One of them days. And but yeah, the girls rushed him. He had to put one of the girls on the ground and say they had her pinned down, face down, and had a knee on the back. Yeah, they jumped the principal. These girls, not boys, these girls. You know,
and you know this.
But
this another thing too, Mr. Hollis. You know, we talk about this Black History. We in February, Black History. You know, and we sit up here and be all proud about what's happening. You know, about the first Black this and the first Black that.
What is that, though? I mean, what is that? The first Black this?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't know.
I mean, what's to be happy about, though? What I'm saying.
But my thing,
I mean, what is to be happy about? Just because I can understand if this Black is something that we get to where we've been so blessed because he or she can turn this school district around. A whole year went by.
That's what I'm saying. So
what is that to be happy about?
That's what I'm saying. This is the thing. In Black history back then, our people stood for something. We in this time now, they talking about Black history, first Black this, right? But you suppressing each other. You suppressing your Blacks. So why are you calling this and celebrating the Black history when you suppressing the people you supposed to help and stand with?
Mhm.
So I don't care about no first black woman president or woman super. I'm not studying that. What are you doing to help your city, your school, your community? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Then I'll be proud of that. But
Yeah.
when you come in talking about, 'cause I'm the first black this and first, God ain't watching no black. God ain't
Yeah.
studying no black.
Mhm.
You know, the Bible tells me do unto others that you will have them to do unto you.
Because here's the
So-
deal. All these folks that's talking about all this black stuff,
Yes, sir.
you know, and I don't mean to say it in a demeaning way, but a lot of them, when it comes to the school system, you can't get one of them to visit the school to go and read to the kids. You know,
Exactly.
say like from grade 1 to grade 2, first and second grade. You know,
Exactly.
you can't get one of them to give of themselves to go and help out with reading, because what reading is the beginning of learning, and learning is the beginning of reading. Okay, these folks are nowhere. They're just glad to be on the couch. You see,
That's it.
they're not giving of themselves. You know, they just bootlickers. You know, call it for what it is. Let me go to this board right quick. And let me put some up here. Let's look at this Miss Rump again. Nobody there focus on test score. I think we mentioned that. Somebody wrote a book here. Let me try to find it there. I think Miss Rump was trying to just confirm they need to be investigated. Then they move to have the election in November instead of May. I think it's a good thing to have the election in November instead of May, because you get more turnout. You know, I'm sick and tired of folks going to the May election for school board, and we got school board members that won the election probably with 20 votes, y'all. People just don't come out to vote for school board. But see, when they already on the ballot in November, then that increased the numbers. Since you already at the poll, you know, in this general election that's coming up, then and you see that the school board are there on the ballot, it will increase the numbers. You know, and so I'm glad they moved it to November. Okay, I think that was Miss Burden. I heard someone lives in Gosnell. I guess I don't know if she was referring to the board members trying to confirm. I mean, board members trying to get themselves qualified for the ballot. And so is that something that one of you had alluded to? Somebody live on base? Is that, I guess they referring
President
to
Hammond.
Yeah.
President Hammond.
And so we need to check that out. Okay, we need to check that out, because if he's out of zone, and we need to really check that out. If he's out of zone, you know, we really need to get to rolling right now to check that out. Because if he's out of zone, then even if it means going to the circuit court to have a hearing on it, we need to make sure that we have people that are qualified to run for school board. And one of the things that will disqualify you is that you're not in the proper zone. And so we really do need to check that out. I'm definitely going to try to help out in any way I can to get on top of that, because as I say, if you want change, you got to change your school board. You got to change some seats there. Okay, let me go up here and read this one. Somebody wrote me something up here. We're going to read that one, and then we're going to try to close this thing out with you all give us some closing remarks. And we'll go from there. This is Mrs. Anderson. It say, and this little girl had nothing to do with the incident. It's no greater hurt than a parent to lose a child. The bus drivers are driving the greatest job, along with the teachers. This town needs help. I think you're getting some support there from Mrs. Anderson. She mentioned something about the greatest hurt that a parent to lose a child. The bus drivers are driving. I don't know if she meaning. I guess she's all talking about safety. You know, and so again, I tip my head to all of you all. This is Mrs. Lambert. It said, without the drivers, the classes would be really thin. It would, well, if you ask me, there won't be no classes. Well, I guess except for the students that ride by, you know, their own personal car or what have you, and that's going to be very little. But for the most part, there's a vast majority of students have to ride the bus. It say that the classes would be really thin. All parents can't drive their kids to school, or the walk is too far, if not too dangerous. I totally agree with you, Miss Lambert. I totally agree with you. Um, Even if there's a case where the kids do live within walking distance, there have been kids who have been abducted just blocks away.
Yes, sir.
You know,
Right in their front yard.
we had this. Had this thing what called grab and snatch. It's pretty much like when you go in these diamond stores, grab and snatch, or however they call it. The same thing. They in these unmarked vans. These kids walking to school. They jump out of the van. Most of they get a female girl, throw her in the back of the van, and they gone. So these are some of the also the dangerous concern for even kids walking to school. And so again, we're talking about kids safety. Miss Anderson again, a few years ago, a fifth grader died because a fight in the school. This is one we're trying to stop before this happened to any one child. And parents, the head need to please fake and pay attention to please
Take and pay.
take and pay attention. Again, starting in the home, parents need to be involved in their children's life. Any strange things that's going on with them, they could be bullying, they could be participating in something that they ain't got no business being in. They come home from school and they ain't got no books. What is that? I mean, that was unheard of in my day. What you doing coming home and you ain't got no books in your hand?
Got no books.
I mean, where you go today? What school you go to? You come home and you ain't got no books. Praying our bus drivers get what they truly deserve. Pay them. Totally agree, Pastor Braggs. Pay the bus drivers. We need them. Without the bus drivers, our schools, there is no schools. There is no classes. Classes don't begin, as one person wrote a while ago. It said, I bet they don't want anybody playing with their money. Pay what they owe them. Thank you, Mr. Corey. That's my brother there, strong brother. And so we have a lot of people that are agreeing with you on here. I think this is Miss Rump again. It said in the meeting tonight, Everett stated, oh yeah, he was at that meeting tonight. I had left. Principal Everett, the one I was telling you about, they got into it with those girls. They jumped him. He was at the meeting tonight. And so I think they had a resource school officer there tonight too from the middle school. But anyway, let's see what he's talking about. In the meeting tonight, Everett stated if a child is sent to his office for behavior problems, the first thing he do is pull the test scores and tell that child he need some points on the test score instead of seeing why the child is behaving the way he or she is doing. I mean, some children cannot function with some situations. They coming out of, instead of hiring an open position up to some of these people, we need to pay the ones for their worth. I have no idea what's going on there. Maybe you all can share with me. He lost me when he said something about when they got behavior problems, the first thing that he do is pull the test scores.
Yeah,
I disagree with that. Sometimes behavior problems, there's a lot of things going on there. This kid could have problems in home. Okay. He could be abused in home. This kid could not have enough to eat in home. This kid could very well be bounced from house to house. And I heard this with my own ears, where the resource officer was talking to one of the kids, trying to get him to tell him, his name and where he lived. And he's being real hardcore. Yeah, he's mad, like he's mad at the world. I mean, and he looked up at the man. He looked up at the resource officer when he had his head down. He looked up, boy, and put them old frowns in his face and and he said, well, I can find out. You know what the kid told him? The kid told him, well, it ain't gonna be right. When he said that about his address wasn't gonna be right, that let me know we're dealing with a problematic child who probably being bounced from house to house. Now,
Or
what
they
is this?
don't know their address.
You know, I mean, so looking at the test scores ain't gonna tell you that much.
Mm-mm.
Most kids that are not passing in class, a lot of times they can't comprehend the subject. And so what they do, they will act a fool, act a class clown to distract from doing their work, because what they're trying to do is what? Get sent to the office and go home. They can't do the work. And so if this is what Mr. Everett is saying, this principal, that a kid with behavior problem, the first thing he does is pull the test scores. I don't agree with that. What do you all think about that?
No, sir, I don't agree with it.
You know,
What
and
your
so
test score is going to solve.
yeah, I mean, I
Again,
don't know
talk
what,
to that student to see what's going on. You got to get the insight. You got to help that child.
and why is Mrs. Davis, she been principal for the middle school for years. Why is she continuing to be passed over for the job principal? Is anything going on there that the public should know about? I mean, I'm not saying that she's doing something wrong, but she's been with that school for a while. Why do they continue to go over Miss Davis for the
That's a
principal
good
position?
question. That's a good question.
Regardless, if we can put and Lord know I got no personal feelings against Miss Davis. I don't know if any of the board members or whoever, because they the one that make the vote, right? I mean, take the vote, right? When they're appointing these principals, correct? And so I'm trying to find out, what is it from the school board that they either see or don't see in Miss Davis that they continue to go over her, for the job principal. Well, that's another subject anyway. I mean,
No, but
something
we
else to talk about.
actually thought, well, but we didn't thought a lot of things. But everything that we thought, everything went.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Well,
just
yeah.
bringing people in place that I went on the ADE directory. Miss Tamara Jones, you listed as a bus inspector. Go on the ADE. Y'all ain't even listed under y'all job titles. The athletic director, Mr. Leon Harris, he ain't listed at all. And then our it ain't updated on on our website. Miss Janetta Orr is still employed with the Blytheville District. She's still listed on there. Them teachers not there no more. Them teachers been gone. We need updates.
So another
Maintenance. Vancel Lucas, you're not the director of maintenance. You ain't nobody. You ain't listed nowhere on ADE.
Why is that? He been there about 30, 40 years, hasn't he?
His name ain't listed nowhere. When everybody else was there, Don Jenkins, he was listed as director of maintenance. When Miss Carolyn Barnes was there and when Mr. Merrill was there, they was listed as director of transportation.
Yes, ma'am.
Pull it up on ADE.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this here then.
The only way you listed director, sir.
Why is that though? I mean, forget the updates. Could it be a possibility that the reason that they're not listing these people is because they probably don't have their credentials in order? I mean,
I don't know. I mean, I ain't never seen nothing like it. I kept looking. Mr. Mike, you even listed as a bus inspector and you the mechanic. I'm like, what the world?
Well, let me ask you this here. Do you think the transportation director, I guess that's what you call him, Mr. Cliff Miller, I think he over security, which that is called into question because for some reason or another, he can't carry a gun. But yet they made him head director over the security. And also he's head director over transportation.
Transportation and maintenance.
And I'm hearing that there may be some credentials problems with him. And so how are some of these people able to squeeze in and some not? Just like the what is the SRO person at the middle school?
What is his name?
Is it Altman? He told me his name. That's him. That's him. This man not only got a permit, as well as Percy got a permit to carry a firearm, but Percy didn't enroll. I mean, Percy didn't put in his resignation for Mr. Harper job, the security.
Right.
But this guy at the middle school, he worked at the sheriff department. I think he worked for the Blytheville Police Department now. Mm-hmm. He have law enforcement experience, he have a permit to carry a gun. And get this, y'all. I found out from just doing a little digging. He applied for that job,
Hmm.
Harper job, and he
And
didn't
then
get
get
it.
it.
He was the complete package of what you need,
That's it.
and he didn't get the job. And I'm gonna say this here about Mr. Ottman, right?
Yes.
Y'all, from what I saw yesterday, he didn't even know I was in the place. But how I saw the way that he was interacting with those kids there at the middle school, he's good.
Yes,
Oh,
he
yeah.
is.
You hear me? He's
Yeah.
good. I have to tip my hat to that school resource officer at the middle school. I
Yes,
mean,
sir.
even when these students that I was telling you about, I mentioned two of them, they was being complete buttholes. You hear me? But he had such patience with them. In fact, there's kids that, like the other day, didn't have a ride home. He
Mhm.
called and spoke with one of the I guess the people that who was standing there with him and spoke to the relatives or whatever. This kid didn't have a way home. He went out of his way to make sure that child got home.
Yes,
Those
sir.
are kind of school resource
That's what
officers
we
that we
need.
need. Someone that can bond with the students, win over their trust, and hopefully to get them to stay out of trouble. You know, I saw that yesterday, y'all, and I wasn't there for Lord. That was one day, and I was there for a couple of, I guess, about an hour or so, and I saw all this here. But y'all, the time been well spent. But I want to know, is there anything that you all need to share with the public in terms of what's going on with uh, the transportation department or what have you? What help do you need from the public? Let's just ask that. If you all need help from the public right now, because I'm disappointed tonight, especially for no parent to stand up and to speak out on some of this stuff that's going on in our school district. I mean, not one parent stood up. And so I wasn't there going to continue to sit there in that meeting. I mean, I'm like, what the hell I'm sitting here for? I mean, we go out there and bust our butts to get these signatures, to give the parent and concerned citizen an opportunity to be heard. And there it is, they chicken out on us. And so I hurried up and got the hell away from there. I didn't want to sit in there. I just want to help the people like you two guys. I mean, I know where your heart is at. I know you're being treated wrong. I know you worked it hard to help get these, petitions. I mean, these signatures to help us do what we're doing. And so, by all means, I'm gonna ride with you two just as long as needed. Okay, and so, but I want to start with each one of you all to go ahead and close this out. But let me get this one comment, and we're gonna close it out. And well, not one comment. I see several comments. I'm going to read those comments last, but I'm gonna go ahead and give you all the make sure that nobody want to ask you something first, because sometimes they may have a question for you all. Let me just see that right there. My tablet battery died. Oh, that was you. Okay. See if I can find some. Where a comment that we hadn't read. We got Miss Dolores. In the bus driver situation, they need speak with an attorney. Let them handle school board violations. They have many. There's somebody who's looking on and have been monitoring what's going on with the bus drivers. I'm telling you all, it ain't gonna be no problem getting y'all money when y'all. I agree with her. Those small claims that applications that you have that you're ready to file your cases. Before you do that, though, I'm all with Miss Brown. Talk with an attorney. An attorney be glad to help you. I told you I spoke to one for you all.
We
Let
have
him
actually reached out to one.
yeah, let him represent you all, and make it a class action. And that way you don't have to worry about, because see, when you're doing this by yourself, that means you're gonna have to collect all your evidence. I mean, all this other stuff in terms of the Q&A, the questions on the stand. Let the attorney do all that.
Right.
Let them do that. And so before you all file some, at least just consider that, because I think they can speed up the process. Whereas let's just say if you're trying to get a court date and it's 30 days away, an attorney might can get you in court in 1 week. You follow me?
Right.
You know, and so but that's something that is going on with them. We got Miss Melissa, that's Miss Melissa Grant. We got somebody, Demetrius, is that Demetrius Stokes? He's telling a story because he graduated.
No, he grabbed.
Because he grabbed my baby by the arm and ain't nobody did nothing about it. Do y'all know this parent?
Who grabbed your baby by the arm?
She talking about the Principal Everett.
Yeah, and yeah, because like I said, evidently, whoever this student that he had on the ground, it made some other girls mad. From what I understand from the text messages that I've been getting, it's almost like the girl, I don't know if it was in the gym or where, but it's almost like they came from the gym and they rushed toward Mr. Everett. I don't know if was a time that they had this female on the ground. Say that from what I'm reading, it had her face down on the ground with his knee in her back. You know, and so I don't know if that's her baby that she was referring to. She said, I totally agree. Let's see if we can just keep going and see if we can find some. He don't need to be principal. That's him, y'all. See the comment? Say he don't need to be principal. And so I imagine the young lady that was pinned to the ground.
She said it was her son.
Pardon me?
She said a son. Didn't she say son?
Was it a son? Let me see. I guess I'm
saying the one about the grabbing the baby.
Yeah. She said baby. I thought I saw the word baby. I didn't see. You know, there it go right there. It say he's telling a story because he grabbed my baby by the arm and ain't nobody did nothing about it. Okay. And then that's what she goes on to say. He don't need to be a principal. He was at that meeting tonight too, y'all. Mr. Everett. And I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna pause for a minute. When I was having my talk with Mr. Everett yesterday, I had to go all around the block to get him to say that we was talking about, was there an investigation? This person that made the threat, was he going to be allowed back on the school property pending this investigation? That man danced all around my question. I know if at least 4 or 5 times while becoming a little frustrated, you know, because it was a very simple question. You know, will this person be somewhat banned away from the school pending an investigation? Because my granddaughter, I mean, she was frightened. You hear me? Imagine a grown man speaking to her in that manner, and I got a principal that can't look me in my face and tell me that, can I be assured you're gonna keep my granddaughter safe? That's the crap that I heard yesterday, y'all. And I got frustrated because he could not give me an answer, or he wouldn't give me an answer. Of course, the security officer can attest to this here. He said he's gonna make a call, and he said he was gonna do whatever, and that really didn't answer my question. So I think in the end he did say something about he's going to tell him to stay away from the school pending an investigation. I don't think he did that. I don't think he will do that, because I had to fight.
It was the school employee who done that to your granddaughter?
No, it was a parent that walked onto school property. You know, and I didn't feel no. When I finished speaking with the principal yesterday, I was hopeless. I mean, right today, I'm still gonna stay on it, of course, but I didn't feel like he took my concern serious.
Well, a teacher told me that they was asked, why did they call the police? Said Dr. Perkins wanted to know, why did they call the police?
That's another thing. Yeah, that's another thing I've been hearing. Don't you know that I've been hearing that they don't even want the police to be coming to, you know, just like you get disturbances at school. We don't have enough school resource officers as it is. And just like that fight the other day, the police department, they made it to the school, the middle school I'm talking about. They made it to the middle school before the school resource officer was at the scene. And
but why you can't call the police? I mean,
well, number one, there's already negative stuff that's going on with the school grades, and just like the way she treating y'all, the bus drivers. There's so much negativity going on with the Blytheville School District, and I'm thinking that anything that they can control, in this particular case, the police department, they don't want them there. You know, it makes them, I guess it makes them look bad. It makes the school district look bad. It paint a picture that it ain't nothing but trouble at the Blytheville School District. No matter what school you go to, that is elementary, that is primary, that is middle school, that is high school, ain't none of them good. I mean, just look at them. All of them fighting. All of them is failing. You see what I'm saying? And so they're trying to minimize whatever things that they can control that is considered to be a black eye to them. They try to control it.
Camouflage and stuff.
About, you know, and guess what? It's working in their favor. All right. We have Miss she ain't right either. I imagine she may probably be referring to, I'm just guessing, wise guess. She may be talking about superintendent. Miss Carolyn Bones. I have history with these bus drivers. I love you and wish you all well. That's Miss Barnes, and you always telling me about how you all liked it, you know, when she served in that position.
We
well
love you too, Miss Carolyn.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yes.
And so now Mrs. Stokes again, you know, it say they are. I
salute the bus drivers.
You salute the bus drivers. You know, she with y'all. You know,
thank you, ma'am.
You know, she riding with y'all. Oh, there you go. She said her daughter. It was her daughter. When she said my baby, that's what she was referring to, my daughter. Okay. And what really aggravates me, just like today, all these things that's going on in the school district. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody want to come out to fight for these kids. You know, I don't know, it's because they don't have kids in the Blytheville School District, or they don't have any kids, period. But even in that case, even if I didn't have kids, y'all, I'm a sucker when it comes to kids being treated right.
That's true.
Okay. You don't have to have kids to have a heart to want to make sure that kids are treated right.
That's true.
Okay. And it's just sad that it's not just our school system, but it's our city. That's why our city has such a stain on it. We don't even have people that can put aside their friendship, their kinship, or whatever little old cliques that they have. They would rather support somebody that's doing wrong because of kinship, friendships, the little cliques, and yes, the boot licking. You know, it's sad. You know, it's pitiful. You know, we got Miss Rump again. It say, I told you it's all about the 13 points. You're gonna have to explain that again, Miss Rump. Well, I don't know what you talking about when you start talking about 13 points. I don't even know what 2 points you talking about. You know, but of course, you all, that's the end of our
I have one more thing I would like to say regarding safety, Mr. Hollis, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Now, regarding the food bags on our buses, we're not against the children eating. Exactly. Not at all.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that. They've been accusing y'all that want to take food out the kids' mouth.
Yes, that why would I want to? I got 3 grandchildren in there and my own little unhealthy son, and y'all know him. He ain't missing a meal. So that's the last thing that we want to do. But at the same time, as a safety thing for the bus drivers, we have rodents that's getting on our buses because the kids are throwing all.
Let's call them what they are. Don't call them rodents. That's a pretty name. Call them rats.
Rats, mice.
Yeah, rats.
Yes.
You ain't got no mouth out there. If they out there in that field, you got some rats.
Yes. And the mice are on our bus decaying. They don't have bones already. Bus be so foul and stinky on there.
Yep. That's it.
Because when we lift up the seats, the mice are stuck to the sides of the.
So in other words, that's not only a safety issue, that's a health issue.
Hazardous.
Yes.
Yeah, health issue.
And then imagine if we driving and a mice run up under our feet. That's an accident for us.
Exactly.
Imagine if
nobody wanted to talk to us about anything. They think the bus driver's just full of BS.
In other words, they're saying deal with it.
deal with
That's
it.
what they're saying. Yeah.
One
And
bus
mind
driver
you,
got on her bus, the mice was still up there eating the food.
and look, and mind you, some of these kids with backpacks,
Yes,
those mice can
yes.
get inside their backpacks, and they can
Oh
either
my
bring
God,
them into the school or they can take them home.
that's true.
You know,
And
and
not only
so
that, the milk wasting in our kids' backpacks, soaking up everything in
and so,
their
what do you
backpack.
propose with this eating on the bus? You don't want the kids not to eat, but what would be a solution to the eating on the bus? Because I understand, don't Tenarians have somewhat of a same program?
Yes, but Tenari's
There's
kids
freedom
do
too.
not bring their food
They
on
don't.
our bus. They
Okay,
They eat it in the
whatever
school.
Tenari's feed their children, they feed them
In the
before
school.
they get on the bus. They don't get on our
Yes.
bus with anything.
Exactly.
and so what would be the resolution in this particular case where the kids are coming on the bus? What would be a positive resolution for the people who passing out the food, and at the same time making sure that the bus drivers don't have to come and clean up behind the mess that the kids leave? I mean, what would be a positive solution to, solving the eating on the school bus?
Solution I would have, like we just made the statement of Tenaris. Okay, you know the food bag's coming because the lady with the food bag, she pull up at the school at 3 o'clock, hand out these school bags, let them give it to them kids, let them give it to the kids in the school, let them sit there at 10 minutes or whatever, let them dismiss from the class early and eat that in that school before they come to that bus. Because like I said, the kids really don't want that food. They really are being forced to take it, some of them anyway.
Oh, is
Some
that
of them
right?
take it and eat it, but some of them won't take it and they just get it. They may have some cookies in there or some chips. They take it out.
Yeah, they want
eat
the sweets and the chips.
Yeah. And and then just throw everything else away.
They throw the whole bag down.
Whole
The
bag.
whole bag.
Mhm.
Yes. So it's really a waste of food if you let me tell it. So, like I say, the resolution would be let them dismiss from class a little early and let them eat it in the school before before time to dismiss the bus. That's
All right.
gonna be the resolution for us bus drivers that, like we say, we got to go back there and clean this corn up, green beans, milk on the floor. We got to
Everything.
go clean
Juice,
everything.
everything.
We got to
But
clean this
now
up.
they
Nobody
get
else
on the
doing it.
bus with it hidden in their backpack. But once
Yeah.
they sit down, oh,
It's coming
when
out of
they
there.
oh my God.
And you
you
all
should see it.
and another thing, you're already not being compensated fairly for your work that you're already given, and now they're
Exactly.
throwing more work on you, making you become janitors.
But I don't know how no other bus drivers do it. But I have even pleaded with the kids. Hold your paper until you get off the bus. Put it in the trash can. They won't even do that.
They won't do that.
So it was a time where, I didn't say anything. As long as they put their stuff in the trash on the way out, hold it, stick it in the side of your backpack or somewhere, as long as you don't throw it on the floor. The issue is because they're throwing it on the floor and leaving. I'm talking about open their milk and set it down there if they don't want it. And then when it weighs, we can't put water on our floor every day. And when it weighs, our floors are sticky. Y'all think about it. The kids throw up on the bus. We gotta clean up throw up. We gotta clean up chocolate milk, juice. Some kids they wet because guess what? The teachers don't let them go to the bathroom before the buses come. So we have our bus. The kids been wet in the seat. The bus drivers have to clean that up.
We got to clean
Y'all
that
not
up.
considering all that. Do y'all want us to let the children come back the next day and sit in a sore seat?
Exactly.
And
but nobody wanted to hear the bus drivers out. Nobody.
Yeah, and these are some of the concerns that not just parents, others need to be involved themselves, but for those who so quick to want to protect these folks in administration, what have you, they need to just actually come out there and they need to see this stuff for themselves.
Yes, they do.
You all are not against feeding the kids, but somebody got to clean up that mess, and I don't think the bus drivers should be the one to do that. Tonight at the school board meeting,
every day,
every day,
yeah,
every day, Monday through Friday.
Check this out. Tonight at the school board meeting, we need 13 points trying to pass state test requirements. So that's what Mrs. Rump was talking about, the 13 points, something that they need to be concerned about. 13 points, what is needed. I don't know what information that they are presenting to support this 13 points, and so that's something we're gonna have to look at. You know, they're supposed to be a food site. I don't know what's going on there, but that's pretty much we're down to the end of at the question of the QA. Let me just go ahead and give you both an opportunity to go ahead and just speak to the concerned citizens, those that who really do care, and just tell them, you know, how can they help right now? I mean, should they involve? Well, we already know they should involve themselves, but what help right now do you all need besides trying to get some of these folks off the school bus? I mean, off the school board, excuse me. What part can parents and concerned citizens play right now to support the bus drivers? And we'll go with you first, Mr. Smith.
Oh, well, I mean, for us helping with things, I mean, all they can do is pretty much support us in what we're standing for, you know, because I'm a man that's gonna always stand for right, you know, and we just need your support. We need your push. We appreciate you for what you're doing thus far, but keep on pushing, because this fight is not over, you know, because it's something that's taking place every day, you know, and we just need that push. And even as we was in this meeting, you know, I heard in the meeting the night after everything was said that the speaker that was speaking for us on the bus was shut down. Superintendent said, "No, that with a smirk on her face." You know, what kind of foolishness is that? You know, you got a smirk on your face, like, "Oh, I got you," but you know, I put this in God's hand now, because you know He's gonna be the one to fight this battle. You know, and if I be a man of God, I know God fights for me. And you know, you can't box with God. You can box with me, but you ain't gonna be able to box with God. So I put this superintendent and this board in the God's hand, because you know, he who laughs first, they never laugh last.
All
so
right.
She may be laughing right now, but in the end, we're gonna see who laugh. But we just need the community to stay behind, because your children are involved in this too. Because if we as bus drivers happen to go on a strike, guess what? That's gonna be hurting y'all parents too. That's gonna be making some of y'all leave work. You know, it's gonna be making y'all have to miss work because your kid ain't being picked up. So we just want y'all to keep pushing and standing with us, you know, and help be a voice with us, you know, because we don't want to do this. We don't want to strike. We love our children. We don't want our kids standing out there in the cold, waiting on no bus running this. Hey, is that bus gonna run? We don't want that.
That's right.
We're being pushed to that, you know, and we just need y'all help in that. Get to the school board, get to these meetings, stand up and say something, get on the agenda, you know, because right now, as we looking, it's not going to end no time soon. But like I said, I give it to God. I put it in his hand, you know, because we ain't wrestling against flesh and blood no more. It's a spiritual wickedness in high places.
Yes.
So, you know, we got a spiritual wickedness in high places. Superintendent got a high place. So that's what we fighting against. So I give it to God, but I'm going to still yet fight, because the Bible say faith without work is dead, and work without faith is dead. So we still got to work. We got to put this faith and work together and make it work out. So that's my close.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. Before I come to you, Miss Lucas, it's okay. I think you mentioned something about that smirk
yes,
on the face. I'm gonna tell you something. I think someone posted tonight. It's just, let me just say this here. Now everything has just begun. Okay.
Yes.
I mean, this is the beginning right here.
Yes.
You know, and so as you stated, I absolutely guarantee you, trust me, the bus drivers will have the last laugh.
Yes,
all the little smirks on their face tonight, what have you. The bus drivers will have the last laugh. Because we're not only going to win there, we're going to win trying to get some of these folks off this school board.
Yes.
You hear me? We're going to win there. All right.
Yes,
so
sir.
we will have the last laugh.
Yes,
these folks that are not doing their job, keeping our children safe in the school, they got to go too.
Yes, sir.
You know, you busy with trying to work on the state championship. And when you got kids that's fighting, that health is in danger, and hell, you can't stop and take time to go and see about the safety of a child because you working on the basketball committee, the state championship. What the hell is that?
Bad.
You know,
yes, sir.
But and so I agree with you wholeheartedly. And
yes, sir.
But anyway, I'm gonna move to Miss Lucas. Give your closing remark.
My closing remark is Blytheville, Arkansas. we need your support. We're not only just bus drivers. We run our bus just like a classroom. Our children, we know our children. They know us. Y'all know I usually wear eyelashes. My kids get on the bus and be like, "Where your lashes at, Miss Lucas?" You know, even when I haven't been absent in a minute, but however, just like the teacher in the classroom, our students, when they see us every day,
Yeah.
every single day, that's us. That's
Yeah.
us. And we need
Yeah.
y'all support. So your children will be transported safely to and fro. And guess what? If anything happened to y'all children,
Yeah.
most of us don't even have a bus monitor. I know I don't. If
Yeah.
I have 60 children on my bus, I'm responsible for all 60.
That's
So
it.
therefore, think about that. One
Yes.
person
One person.
responsible for 60 children or more.
Yes, ma'am.
Think about the lives that are in our hands just for the short time that everybody just looking and
That's
not
it.
on the bus, seeing what we really go through.
That's right.
Um, and also,
Yes.
I wanted to say about the changing our pay from $20 to $11. If we
Mm.
a bus driver, we a bus driver all day long. The
All
same
day.
Correct.
way
I
you a
agree.
teacher all day long. The
That's right.
same way you the superintendent all day long. If you're
That's right.
not doing your superintendent job, would you want your pay to change?
That's it.
If you on your way, say the teacher on their way going on a trip, because they're not in the classroom setting, will their pay change to $11?
Nope. That's it.
So I just want y'all to think about that. Just because the bus driver, I'm still a bus driver while I'm sitting there waiting.
That's it.
Nobody can come out and drive that bus if I'm taking who I be transporting middle school.
Yeah.
Those gentlemen, they don't know how to drive the bus.
No, ma'am.
Don't know coaches go with me that know how to drive the bus.
That's it.
So therefore, my pay changes because I'm sitting and waiting.
Yeah.
Guess what? The kids do come back out to the bus to eat.
Uh-huh.
We still have to have the bus warmed up or however we there for the bus for the
Yeah.
any athletic trips that we take. The bus is still available. If the kids
Yes.
have to come out and take a nap, I done been there 11, 12 hours.
That's it.
And guess what? These kids have to come out, sit down, have somewhere to go. Most of y'all parents don't come with the kids.
Yes.
But guess what? A caring, loving bus driver be right there.
That's it. Yes, ma'am.
Well,
Right there every day.
everything that I heard in your voice, you were speaking from the heart. I felt a real sincere love for kids that,
Yes.
I mean, you treat them like they're your own,
That's it.
and I don't think it's too much to ask that for loving, concerned citizens, parents, uh, or whomever you may be. I don't
That's
think it's
true.
a whole lot to ask that for us to support the people who have the most important job of the whole school curriculum is transporting our kids to the schools and from the schools. I tell you, I tip my head to both of you. I mean, I don't spoke to both of you quite a bit. And like I say, y'all, I know your heart, and I'm going to be with y'all in this here for as long as y'all need me. Like I
Appreciate
said,
you, sir.
me
And
leaving tonight.
we only hear on your broadcast or in the media only because no one was willing to talk with us.
Yeah,
No
wait,
one was
Exactly.
willing to meet with us.
yeah.
That's the
Nobody.
only reason why it got blew out of proportion. Nobody
That's it.
was willing to talk with us. We not only just want to get paid what we're owed right now.
Exactly.
We need to know what the future holds. Why it got to
What
change
else?
this year? Why we can't talk about it and let it take place next year?
Next year.
But no,
That's it.
she just snatched everything from us, and the
Good.
board allowed it.
Well, I
Yeah.
tell you, and this is done as God's truth. Uh, I really do feel your pain. I think Mrs. Bones had mentioned as well as she was listening to you, Miss Lucas, saying how she feel your pain as well.
Thank you.
Stick to Jesus right now. We got some people on here that really have you all back. Miss Bones, Lord help.
Thank you, Miss Curlin.
Mr. Lois Brown, Tony Hollers, they all look bad in my eyes. That Blytheville, what's that, Missouri, it generates thing you can't change that. It's just sad that our city is, in this situation that we're in.
That's it.
Mrs. Stokes again,
We
we
love
love
you too,
y'all,
Miss Stokes.
bus drivers.
Thank you, Miss Stokes.
We appreciate y'all, and so you have some love there, and so and I will say, you all hang in there, because
Yes,
like
sir.
I say, I didn't want them to have the satisfaction, because like you said, that little smirk on their face.
Yes.
Probably right. I didn't look at it, but if I had to guess, they did, and that's why I had said before this day end, we're gonna give the bus drivers the last laugh. And see,
we want this for the record as well.
Yeah.
Mr. Desmond, we got the conversation that was said outside recorded, so we don't want to get at the Mr. Hollis, but we'll share it with you if you want it. Cause we gotta stay a step ahead of y'all, because y'all been mistreating us so bad. We don't even trust it no more. That's why our drivers won't even take the trips. We don't trust it no more.
Don't trust it at all.
Well, but I'm gonna tell you right now, instead of letting, it couldn't been no more than, I'll say at best, it might have been 30, 35 people in the meeting tonight. Before I left the school board meeting, it might have been 30, 35 people there. So I think in this regard, we probably gonna have hundreds of people that's seeing this live right now.
Yes, sir.
And so what they didn't want to get out tonight at that meeting, what they didn't want to get out, well, it's out now. What they tried to muzzle you all, they try to hush you all from speaking, it's out now. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So in other words, even in saying before this evening conclude, you all done had the last laugh. Yeah. I like to see that look on whoever had the smirk look on their face. Then I like to know what is that look on their face now, because like I say, this is the people's platform. If you can't tell it all in court, this is your platform. Just like tonight, you couldn't tell it all, or hell, in most cases, they wouldn't even let you talk.
They say nothing.
Yes, I'm surprised they didn't shut me down. But I didn't give them the satisfaction, because after I saw how it was going, they was trying to hush people from showing them up the dirt that they've been doing. They didn't want that to get out, because see, you have the media there. And the media watch my show. You hear me? The media watch my show, and so it's just up to them whether or not they want to go ahead and air some of this crap. But like I say, you all, whenever you all want to get your message out, okay? Whenever you want to get your message out, this is your platform. You hear me?
Yes, sir.
And
we thank you for everything that you have done for us all up to this point. Because without you, we wouldn't have even been heard this far. Even when the news came out, they didn't even air it. If you wouldn't have been standing there recording us, we wouldn't have been aired.
I remember that.
Because they said we was telling a story on them, and we was not.
Exactly.
Mr. Miller, we was not telling a story around you nor the superintendent. We only wanted to talk to you all, and you all was not willing.
That's it.
You know what?
That's
and
all
speaking
we wanted to do was to
and
talk.
You know what? And speaking on that, I think they know that they probably got that reporter who came out, because he didn't run the story at first, right? But eventually he ended up running the story.
Well, I think NEA was that NEA.
No, that was NEA Town Courier ran it. It wasn't 8 Channel 8. It was NEA.
After they got Mr. Miller and Mr. Miller had said some stuff in there. After they consulted with them, but in trying to make us look like we was lying, well, you made it look like we was lying, and we was not. We was not.
Well, I tell you one thing, we got an opportunity right now to change 2 seats on that school board.
Yes, sir.
All right, and y'all, we got to be committed to this here. We got to right now. We don't need to end up like I was telling one lady today, and also Miss Juanita Jackson spoke. I don't know if I told you all. She spoke tonight. They shut her down. Okay, they shut her down too. She's beginning to start moving into talking about the safety regarding. I think she might have brought up some of the kids having sex and all that stuff. She didn't call no names. Just she's talking about the behavior. That's what she was talking about. And for the president to try to interrupt, I think that was uncalled for. And matter of fact, you all, before I get off, I want you all to hear the Miss Lucas who spoke tonight. I'm hoping that my speaker can pick this up, and I want you all to listen to this here, if you will, okay?
Yes.
I want you all to listen to this and let me know if you can hear it. Okay, that's the wrong one. And let me know if y'all can hear this. All recordings.
May choose to discuss the issue presented at a later meeting, but is under no obligation to do so. We will now have the first speaker, and the time starts with 3 minutes.
This is Miss Lucas speaking right now, okay?
I just want to speak on safety about the school bus. If we're not.
Can you raise it up to the mic a little bit more? We barely can hear it.
Yeah, she was speaking low.
Oh, okay.
For the record, please state your name.
My name is Sonia.
Oh, at the meeting. This at the meeting.
Yeah.
At the meeting.
Being treated right as a whole, transportation and safety. It might be on our buses with the food bags, or whatever. They dying, they can, running under the driver's seat.
That's Miss Sonia Lucas.
Yeah. Miss Sonia Lucas. It's not long. He gonna interrupt in a minute.
We can, get the kids to school safe and from school safe.
I will have to interrupt you. I will go back to the disclaimer that was read before. There's no matter that should be brought before the board that includes any employment considerations around employment, pay, or anything to be discussed at this time. There's a grievance process that is in policy. At this time,
I always talk about policy.
Not for the board.
Grievance, they throw that on us quick.
Yeah.
He actually misinterpreted what she was saying, though.
So there's no way we could win. No matter what steps we took, we can't win.
And see, I just wanted to and plus I'm turning that off. I just wanted y'all to hear that Miss Sonia Lucas did talk, and all she was saying was that we wanted to be treated fairly. She talked about the mice that was on the buses and all. And she never mentioned anything about a personnel matter. She was just explaining, how bus drivers are being treated. She didn't make no allegations. She made no demands. But anything that feel like it was going to roll over into personnel matters that they was afraid of, the president, Hammond, he was quick to jump in. Yeah. And so I saw the way things was going, and I said then they're not going to allow us to speak. I had that same conversation with you, Mr. Smith.
Yes, sir.
I knew that they was going to pull this crap. That's why I was trying to hope that we could find a way, that sweet spot, to where they can't accuse us of talking about personnel matters if we're just strictly hold it to safety. And like I say, I'm surprised they didn't stop me, because I I did say something about the fights. Okay. You know, I did say something about the principal also got involved in a scuffle, you know, and so I did
So
speak
what
on
was
some of
supposed
those
to be
things.
discussed in the 30 minutes?
Well,
If we couldn't talk about nothing.
no, here's the deal. That was the goal, not to hush you, not allow you to talk. All they had to do was to comply with the petition to just give you an opportunity to be heard. It was them that control what you was gonna say and what you shouldn't say.
Exactly.
See, that's what it's about. So,
Yeah.
so the intent,
What happened to the
intent
meeting
was
that
never to allow you to speak.
what happened to the meeting that we were supposed to have where the board wasn't supposed to say anything? They were supposed to let us talk.
Yeah,
What
and there you
and what
go.
happened was
I'm gonna
She
that
tell you
the
changed
something.
it up.
meeting?
I'm gonna
Hmm?
tell
That
you
was
something.
it. She changed it up.
A lot of these board members, you know, half of them you got to make them go and get 6 hours. You know, they're supposed to get 6 hours worth of training. I think it's every year you have to get 6 hours worth of training. Half of them, half of them right now. I got the documentation. Half of them done went a whole year and they had no training, and that's supposed to be an automatic remove you from the board until you bring your hours up to compliance.
Exactly.
And this has been passed on by uh, the superintendent. This has been passed on by I'm talking about the interim superintendent, not Mr. Ashley, and to the superintendent that we have now. And so I'm going to continue to watch those hours when they don't even supposed to take a vote. If any vote that they have participated in, I don't care if it was 6 months ago, if they participated in any votes to where their hours they were not in compliance, then that vote, whatever they took, that vote has to be non-void. You have to wipe that out.
That's it.
And so, but they know that nobody is paying attention. When nobody is paying attention to some of the things that they are doing
What they
or
want.
not doing, you know, they continue to feel comfortable with that. But it takes folks like us to not let them get so comfortable in their seats.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
And so, like I say, if they try to hush you at the meeting, this your platform where you can come and tell it all. They can't hush me. You know, and they
Well,
can't hush
private
my
school
get.
district, y'all better go on to ADE and see what you listed as and see are you listed. Because I'm telling you, it ain't right.
You know,
Ain't right at all.
you know. But we done had some I know we've been on here that long, y'all. We've been on here 2 hours. So for you all know, we know it's a long broadcast. This is something that needed to be shared. Hopefully you can split this this broadcast, can split it in two, watch some the remainder of this night, and hopefully catch the other half of it tomorrow. But you definitely need to tune in. Okay. We did have just a few more people that tune in. Miss Brown again. Y'all having a good time. What was that? She said, y'all having a good time. Love it, you know, and so sending love out again. Mrs. Lambert, Marcus Jefferson, Eric Anderson, and Von Sale Lucas the third, and Billy Lambert. Okay. Share the live. That's Miss Miss Vanessa Marie. Share this live. Let's support the bus drivers. There goes some more love, y'all.
Yes.
Appreciate you for the love.
And hashtag support. Was that support our drivers?
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
You know, and so the love is there. See, that's what they didn't want to get out. They didn't want y'all to get no love tonight. They didn't want y'all to tell it. But you got the last laugh tonight. Okay.
Thank you,
I
Miss
will
Williams.
support the bus driver.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. And so, hey, y'all, we got the last laugh tonight. See, they thought that this day was going to end with them having that smirk look on their face.
And we didn't want our town to have, we are Chickasaw pride all the way. Do y'all know how many people been trying to get our children to come to Gosnell? But guess what? I said it was good enough for me, it's good enough for my children. But at the same time, you know,
let me interrupt you for a minute, Miss Lucas. Let me interrupt you for a minute. I kept saying, Mrs. Lambert, he corrected me and said, I'm a man. Hey, brother, no offense, my brother. I mean, charge it to the head and I'll charge it to the eyes, you know. But he is a man, okay? Mr. Lambert. I appreciate you, Mr. Lambert, for all your comments. Okay,
I
go ahead,
am
Yes,
a-
sir.
go
Appreciate it.
ahead, Mr. Lucas.
Yes, and we just want you all, we wanted you all to have a clear understanding. We didn't want y'all to be sitting up here rolling your eyes at the bus drivers, thinking we doing something wrong or doing, I don't even know the superintendent. I had a meeting with her when she first came. And I don't even know if she remember, because what I was asking
I never met the
about,
woman. Never talked with her. Never met her. Never talked with her.
like I said, I don't even know much about her. I started doing my research when I've been treated like the bottom of your
Exactly.
shoes.
Yeah,
That's
There
when
you
I
go.
started doing my research, because I'm like,
Yes, ma'am.
something ain't right.
Something ain't
Somebody
right.
who just come here, don't even know us, and can treat us, our district, like this. And then, if I'm not mistaken, one of the other drivers said that when he was taking her home from driving her car, she said she didn't come here to make no friends. I can believe that
Oh, we can see
because
that.
I believe that now. She didn't tell me that, but she told one of our other drivers, Mr. LaTorrance Aldridge. That's what he told us. That she told him that. So
Well,
I don't know, but
what
all
I
I
tell you,
know is I want y'all to have a clear picture and understanding of what the bus drivers are going through without the hearsay
Exactly.
or just saying we don't even have a problem with if rules gonna change or the policy gonna change, but talk to us. Don't
Talk
just
to
push it
us.
away. You caused the me to owe bank fees and everything.
It's
And who
ridiculous.
gonna pay for that?
Okay.
Nobody's willing to pay for my
Nobody
bank
but
fees.
you. That's it. That's right.
$36. Who gonna pay for them?
Okay.
well, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Lucas and Mr. Smith, I really appreciate having you all on. And like I say, we're gonna really be trying to do some things. Please pass the word for Zone 4 and Zone 5. Let's find a real winnable candidate, because we don't want to end up like the mayor's race. Instead of them want to get behind one candidate to support and win this thing, we had our votes went all scattered. They was everywhere. So for Zone 4 or Zone 5, not saying that anyone don't have the right to run, but we need to find two good quality candidates for Zone 4 and Zone 5 to have them to make themselves available candidate for school board. Now, and we also gonna check on to see if anyone that's sitting in a seat right now that is holding that seat illegally, we're gonna talk about that. And even if we have to file something with the circuit court, to go ahead and have these folks to show up to answer to the allegation as to why they believe they are in the right school zone and that they should continue to serve as board member for that particular zone. And so we can address all this stuff in circuit court. All right, because I tell you,
Sure.
if anybody's out of their zone and I got the information, they gotta go.
Yes, sir.
So we will have the last laugh, you all. And so I want to appreciate you all from stopping by, and to send a clear message to the board of directors as well as to the superintendent that your voice will not be hushed. Okay,
No, sir.
say that again. Your voice will not be hushed.
Amen.
You hear me?
Thank
That's
you, sir.
You know,
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate you.
and as long as I have a platform, you're more than welcome. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes,
There.
sir.
So I want
I
to say,
had one of the teachers to inbox me and say, "Go to Walmart. You need Wi-Fi."
okay,
So I knew I had to
I
get
heard
back
that.
there.
Who need Wi-Fi?
Well, what I tell you, I really enjoyed you all, and like I say, let's do this thing again and let's stay in touch. Okay.
Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. Appreciate you.
Good night,
All right.
everybody.
Peace and love.
All right.
See
Good
y'all
night.
later.
Y'all have a
Bye-bye.
blessed night.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Right.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, those were my guests. I hope you all enjoyed them. Please, they need your help. Okay, they need your help. Please come and join us to give the school board the necessary help that they need. They had that smirk look on their face, I imagine, but tonight the school board members had the last laugh. Okay, they shared these things with you all. Many of you all didn't know these things that was going on. Many of you all probably was blaming me, blaming the bus drivers or what have you. Look, y'all, the house is on fire, meaning the school district. The Blytheville School District is on fire. The house is on fire. So what will you do? Will you just sit there and have that old apathetic mind? You just don't care. It's kind of let the house burn. So what? The house is on fire. The Blytheville Schoolhouse. It's on fire. If you love our district, then you will want to do something to get involved to try to help save the Blytheville School District. Because see, when these folks come in here and they tear up our district and they have no plans of living here, okay? They don't want to move their families here. They want your money. They want our tax dollars. They want them big old nice fat salaries, but they don't want to live in Blytheville, Arkansas. So when Blytheville, Arkansas get all tore up, I'm talking about the Blytheville School District. Once it is destroyed, your Blytheville School District, these folks will not be around to help pick up the pieces for you. As I said last night, how do you get excited about accepting a superintendent from a failing school district to come to your failing school district? What is there to be happy about? You didn't get nothing of value. I can understand if you got a superintendent that has a record of turning school districts around in terms of performance. I can understand that'll be something to get excited about. But you're getting excited for the wrong reason. You're getting excited because, she's the first black, not just first female, to my knowledge. I think she's the first female, but not only that, she's the first black person to serve as superintendent. You all still on the honeymoon. Y'all still out on the honeymoon. Y'all got to understand that after the honeymoon, now it's time to make the marriage work. That's where we at. It's time to put in the work now. Going out, passing, getting your CDL license to drive a school bus with a thumbs up, that don't impress me. Okay? Thinking that you done save the school district some money going out buying 2 buses when you probably can get a whole slew of buses for what you paid for 2 buses, that don't impress me. That's not no thumbs up. And we got these folks that's sitting on the school board that either so scared or just dumb, don't know how to fact find, ask questions, get the information. And some of y'all that sit on the school board, at least 2 of you ain't dumb. It's 2 of y'all sit on the school board, it really is not dumb. But for some reason, and I noticed how you all sit over there, these 2 people I'm talking about, that are not dumb, maybe 3, but I know 2. You're not dumb. But for some reason or another, I've watched you over the years through all kinds of superintendents. If there's a question to be asked, I'm talking about these 2 school board members now, the one that have involved themselves, they have the mindset to ask the right questions, okay? You quiet. The only reason that I believe that you're quiet right now is because you're intimidated. You know that if you go against the superintendent, or if you say anything that is in opposition of the superintendent, the other board members, the other 6 board members, or 5, or however many it is, you're going to catch some heat. So you rather keep your mouth closed. You're not helping if you do that. If you're going to serve on the school board and there is something that need to be said, I don't care who it is, if it's the superintendent, you need to speak it. I am not going to allow this superintendent to come to Blytheville, Arkansas and tear up this school district and then go back to Little Rock, Forest City, or wherever she come from. I'm not going to let this woman tear up this school district and leave us here holding the scraps. I don't care how many of y'all love her. I don't care if you're a frat member. I don't care if you're a real close friend. I don't care how many churches she go into. I mean, I'm hearing that's the campaign now, visiting the churches, where y'all trying to make this superintendent to be lovable, likable, or whatever. I don't care how many churches she go to. If she's not doing right by the Blytheville School District, I'm gonna call her hand on it. You might not like it, but like I say, you ain't got nobody to go tell it on me. I don't answer to nobody but my family and God. Okay. But that's all I have, ladies and gentlemen. Let's support those bus drivers. Please do share this broadcast tonight, and hopefully we can get behind these bus drivers and we can give them the necessary support that they need. Now, these two bus drivers that came on tonight, I will say this here. I want you all to join me. If there is any retaliation against these two bus drivers who love your children, who transport your children to school and take them home safely, you'll join me and you'll fight against these folks that want to be strong-headed, that think they are above reproach, that they don't have nobody to answer to. Then you'll join me to stand beside these bus drivers, and we will give whatever board member, including the superintendent, we will give them pure hell, because we want our bus drivers to remain in place, faithful to our students, love what they're doing. And for that, we will stand beside the bus drivers. I know I will. No board member, the superintendent, you will not mistreat our bus drivers. You won't do it and feel comfortable about it. You won't do it. Okay? You will not do it. We will have our bus drivers back. And I wanted to show you all that email. I can't find it now, but the email simply, it threatened the transportation supervisor. She wanted to have a meeting to try to talk about some of these issues as these two bus drivers talked about tonight. She received the email from the superintendent in so many words stating, consider this letter a letter of reprimand. How do you reprimand somebody for going through the protocol to want to talk to the superintendent about some issues as it relates to the bus driver? And what does that superintendent do in return? She sent, I have the email. I'm going to show it sometime this week too. So Tony lying. I ain't lying. I got the email. But she sent this supervisor. I ain't talking about Cliff Miller because he's in her hand. But she sent this email to this transportation supervisor for the bus drivers. In so many words, it's almost like, and I'm paraphrasing, how dare you send me this letter? Do you know what team you on? Consider this here, and this was a quote. Consider this a letter of reprimand. And then on top of that, then threatened her and told her that, and don't go to the school board. Of course, I'm not speaking in those exact words, but she stated that not only was it a letter of reprimand, but you better not even go to the school board and tell them about it. Who does that? That's a dictator. You hear me? That's a dictator. I'm gone, y'all. Let's support these bus drivers, okay? And again, please don't watch it all at one time. Split it up. Watch half of tonight and watch the other half tomorrow. But this is the kind of meeting that they noted that we were going to have tonight. It was going to at least be anywhere from 1 hour to a 2-hour meeting, and we still couldn't tell it all in that time. So hopefully we have told you enough what is going on with this school board. They don't want to be the checks and balances between the superintendent and the staff members, that they be certified teachers, that they be classified workers. The school board is derelict in their duties. They don't want to be that checks and balances between the superintendent and even the taxpayers, such as ourselves, shutting people down at a public meeting, not allowing them to talk to you about some concerns that concern them as it relates to their children. Who does that? The school board need to understand that they do not represent the superintendent. They represent you. You was the one that elected them. And if they can't work for you, then you need to go out November or May, whichever month they vote in now, and you need to send a clear, convincing message that if you don't want to support the people who you depend on as to get their vote, then you out of here. That's all I have, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and love. God bless and good night. trying to think, was there something else I need to say? It's nothing else. But anyway, good night. Okay. And I want to say, well, I don't want to say nothing else. Y'all tired of hearing from me. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I don't know, hit the wrong button there.